talking so we can test the audio when it finally comes up, because there's a lag between the time the thing starts and the time it goes. And let's see, we have audio. Excellent. They may have fixed that bug in OBS. That would be nice. All right, streaming on Dementia Radio now and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have Trevor Walls in the house, y'all!
What's up, Trevor?
Nothing much. How about you?
Not much. Welcome to the show. And,
Thanks for having me.
Lauren Mayer will be joining us in about a half an hour, I believe, give or take. In the meantime, welcome to episode 681 of the Funny Music Podcast for Thursday, July 6, 2023. The title of this week's episode is Powerful Nerve, which I will put in the chat. Your job is to try to work that into our conversation somehow. So, let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, last week on Thursday after the show, I went out for karaoke night at the Scum and Villainy Cantina. It was either that or go see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I still haven't seen yet. And as they said in The Last Crusade, I chose poorly. I should have gone to seen Indiana Jones because, I forgot, that I'm one of the uggos of the world who doesn't get to sing because I'm not, a thorough hottie person, because those people get to sing and people like me get to wait 3 hours and then not get to sing, So I had some powerful nerve to think that I was worthy of being able to get to Star Wars bar, with my name being Luke and all. So anyway, there was that. What else happened? I worked my dumb job, and Santana and I threw a little shindig party here because, for some weird reason, my job didn't schedule me to work on the 4th of July, which was very surprising, so I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, we had a bunch of people over, Kyle and Lindsay and Tony, and a bunch of other people were over, and we played Jackbox games, and we actually did a round of the game that we called Boob Tree, which involves drawing and writing things down and drawing. So that was kind of nifty. Yeah, that's basically been my week. How has your week been?
Busy. Crazy busy. We went to my parents' house in Connecticut for 4th of July weekend, and actually had to come back before the 4th because 2 of my kids had to work on the 4th. Yeah, what are you going to do? But I don't know if I've mentioned this on this show or not, but I've been looking for a new car for some time, and finally, won't get into all the details as to why, but finally found one over the weekend. It's in Florida. So Saturday, I'm flying down to Tampa to pick up the car and driving back Saturday and Sunday. So I will have a new car this weekend, and then Darren and the kids are going to drive the car I'm driving now, and our insurance is going to go through the roof. It's going to be awesome. In other news, remember the short film I made a little while ago that I'm not done with yet?
Yes.
Well, there's a bunch of people in my acting class who we've all become really close friends, and about a month ago we had a movie night where we watched The Cabin in the Woods, and then we watched a couple of our teacher's films that he made. And I mentioned to the group, I'm like, hey, let me know next time we're doing a movie night, I'll get the short film done and we can premiere it. And they ran with this. And we are now doing a red carpet premiere at my house. Like,
That's awesome.
I'm gonna either buy some red fabric or rent a red carpet to cover my front step. I'm gonna put up my green screen out front so we can Photoshop a backdrop in later, because I can't afford to have a nice backdrop printed. And everyone's getting dressed up to come here, and then we're gonna watch the film and then probably change out of our dress clothes, and then we're gonna either watch something else or play Mario Kart the rest of the night. I don't know. We're gonna play it by ear. But it's going to be monumentally stupid, and I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So I've been working on... I've just started working on the film again. The editing is done. The color correction is done. And last night, I did my first ever bit of ADR.
Wow.
Which... It wasn't as terrible as I was fearing it was going to be. I mean, it is only a 9-minute short, and there isn't a whole lot of dialogue, so it wasn't like I was doing everything, but it was kind of a pain, but it wasn't terrible, and I think it's going to work. I don't think you can tell that all the dialogue was ADR'd. So now I need to do. There's 3 voiceover roles that I'm getting the other people in my acting class to do. One of them I have already, and then I need the other 2, and then I need sound effects and music, and then it'll be done. And then we're going to premiere it next week, and then I'll start shipping it to festivals or shopping it to festivals and seeing if anybody wants to pick it up. So, wish me luck. So, Trevor, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Today I was doing... This is geeky, but I think this crowd will appreciate it. I was so late on finding out that John Paragon, Groundlings legend, love him, John B. the Genie in Pee-wee's Playhouse, for those who don't know. I just found out he was in Weird Al's movie, UHF. Had no idea that was the same guy. And that's my little tidbit of knowledge that I just discovered about an hour ago, still thinking about it. So now you know what I'm like.
Who did he play? I'm not making the connection.
He played RJ's son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Happy
okay.
birthday, Dad.
Yeah.
And he passed away in the past year or so, and his ashes, his memorial is in Hollywood Forever Cemetery, the same general vicinity of where Judy Tenuta is. So yeah, there's an awesome display thing him, and it's it looks like John B. the Genie's box and stuff, and it's partially open. It's really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I saw. I didn't see Indiana Jones. I saw 4 movies in a row. I went to the movie theater. That's what I like to do. I get too busy, and then I have A-List, not sponsored, the AMC thing. So I want to get my money's worth. Yeah. So I went to see. I actually hacked the system. Saw 4 movies.
I was going to say, how'd you do that?
I know. I'm a mystery. I saw Kung Fu Panda. They were rescreening the first one. I saw Past Lives, which is an A24 drama. And then I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I was really late on that one. And then I saw... Oh, no, I'm forgetting. What was the 4th one? Was the other one? I don't know. We said too many movies, basically.
Yeah, there's currently 6 movies in the theater I want to see, and plus I would like to see Guardians of the Galaxy again, Volume 3 again before it leaves. So yeah, there's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken.
That's the other one. That was great. I loved it.
Joyride, The Blackening, No Hard Feelings, and Asteroid City. So I actually was semi-planning on making today I'm going to go see a bunch of movies day, but then other stuff came up. So
well, let this be your push. Let this be your push.
Yeah.
I also want to say No Hard Feelings has a great... It doesn't really count as comedy music, but it has a great musical moment in a comedy. That's all I'll say. I won't spoil it, but worth it for that alone.
Because I've just been thinking in general the past few months how there's so few films that are just regular old comedies that show up in movie theaters anymore. Yep. And I want to make a specific effort to when a comedy comes out, I want to go see it and support it. So, and like Joyride, I had seen posters for it, but never saw any trailers. And I was like, all right, well, let me see what the trailer is. And I saw that it was written by one of the people who made Crazy Rich Asians, and then it's also like executive produced by Seth Rogen, and just the Red Band trailer was like hilarious. I'm like, okay, I absolutely want to see this. So yeah.
I don't think I've even heard of that.
Yeah, look up the trailer for it. And then The Blackening, have you seen The Blackening?
Not yet, but I really want to.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like for a horror fan and a comedy fan, that seems perfect.
It's high on my list. I think that movie is higher than Indiana Jones on my list. So I will be going to the theater at some point between like the Florida trip and the editing of my short and stuff. I will be sneaking away, but
I did watch because Santana, as an influencer, has access to websites that let you see movies that aren't readily available for streaming yet. There's a movie that came out a couple months ago that I missed in the theaters called The Machine. Yeah. So comedian Bert Kreischer has a famous stand-up bit about in his 20s he went on a college trip to Russia and gets involved with the Russian mafia, and it's a hilarious stand-up story. So go find that stand-up special and watch that. But then this movie is like kind of it's a proper movie, but it's kind of a sequel to that story, set in modern times with current Bert Kreischer, and his father is played by Mark Hamill, and I thought it was really funny. So yeah, I recommend The Machine. So anyway,
that was on my list as well.
So yeah.
So Trevor, you posted a song.
I did.
Give us a quick intro. We'll give it a listen.
I feel like there's not much that can be said. It is it's a song about frogs, and definitely doesn't have any deeper meaning than that. I'm just kidding. It definitely has deeper meaning, but on the surface, it is a simple song about frogs. That's what I'll say.
All right, here is Frogs by Trevor Walls.
Oh, I can't believe we're here. I've heard excellent reviews for this.
Jerry, you gotta calm down. You're gonna make me spill my drink.
It's starting. It's starting.
Okay, all right.
It's starting.
We're frogs from the countryside, and we sing the whole night long. We're frogs, and our choir resides with 12 amphibians strong. Pollywogs across the land, come listen to our song. The next time that you hear us, feel free to along.
Look, honey, they've even got little frog-sized tap shoes on.
Oh, wow. Is it over?
Oh, what?
Bravo! Wonderful stuff!
Oh, yeah.
We're frogs.
It's not over.
We're singing frogs, and we're really quite unique. Oh yes, we're frogs. And we've just been booked for a wedding by the creek. Whether it's classical tunes or hip-hop that you seek. Come and see us froggies live. We'll be singing rain or shine.
Come on down. Bring your own flies.
Any day of the week.
Except for Winter Peak. Wow.
I feel like I'm part of the family.
The Froggy family.
You.
All right, so since this is your first time on the show, give us a quick intro, who you are, where you're from, what you do, all that.
Yeah, I'm Trevor Walls. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, currently in Los Angeles. And at this moment, I'm a full-time musician, actor, comedian. It's what I do. And, yeah. Sorry, I'm terrible at talking about myself.
That's all right. So tell us about frogs.
Frogs, yeah, I do. I love frogs, I should say. It's mostly a wholehearted song. But a lot of my background, I've been an actor, comedian for over a decade now. I'm a younger person, but I've done it since I was a kid. And because I started as a kid, I've done a lot of stuff for kids. I love making music for kids. That's sort of when I'm not doing novelty and comedy stuff, I'm in a kids band. And because it's part of how I make my living now, you start to notice that kids music as a whole, especially these days with the digital world, can be very exploitive and sort of awful sometimes. You can kind of tell, we're far from the Mr. Rogers era. But there's a heap of artists making amazing stuff. However, sometimes I like to poke fun at kids' songs that are maybe not as sincere. And now that I do it full time, like I said, I think there's always sort of this dark, and not something I indulge in, but there's always a dark temptation when you're someone making stuff for kids where it's like, this is stupid, but it'll probably do really well with the kids crowd, which is absolutely not how you should be viewing making stuff for kids. So when it comes to my comedy stuff, I think there's some angst that comes out about that style, and I end up satirizing it and ironically making something that sounds like it is that, but hopefully with some darker humor in it that isn't exploiting kids for something silly. So instead I make silly stuff for adults, I guess, is the end of the story.
Okay, so you make silly stuff for kids and silly stuff for adults. It all works. It's fine.
Yeah, I like to blur the lines. I don't want people to know if I'm making something for kids or for adults. Maybe that. I'm a big fan of Logan Whitehurst and Pee Wee Herman, aforementioned, Weird Al, of course, and I love the stuff that blurs the line of ages when it comes to enjoying stuff. And I do think that there's the lines that make it especially noticeable that there's a little bit of a twisted darkness in there is like, for instance, when I repeat croak, 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 like that is a lyric is kind of giving away some angst. I feel like maybe some people are out there sincerely writing that line, but I know that there's some angst in there for me.
So was this supposed to be like a musical theater piece with an audience?
It turned into that. I just found it funny to have some voices reacting to it too.
Okay.
Maybe that's me reacting to myself. I won't get too deep with that, but I think it's sort of ironic too. Is this song has been a big hit on SiriusXM's Kids Place Live, which I didn't intend for it to be, but kids ironically are enjoying the song because maybe they can sense the angst. But
well, yeah, maybe,
I think that maybe that was me foreshadowing the enjoyment of the listeners.
Well, I think a lot of times when people make music for kids and don't like pander to kids, the kids appreciate it more. Like when my kids were young, we got a lot of mileage out of the They Might Be Giants kids albums.
Oh yeah,
because
the best.
They're really good, and they're not
So
the wheels on the bus go around and right.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly right. And I want to emphasize there are hundreds of amazing artists out there making stuff like that. So it's not me poking at the genre as much as certain aspects of the genre, more on the business side, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So is this like a typical sounding song for you as far as what you do?
Yeah, I made an EP last year that was sort of my novelty debut. It was on Dr. Demento a few times, called Merry Halloween. And in that one, I was sort of satirizing the holiday music genre, just how silly it can be. I love old 60s Halloween records. So not as musical theatery as this one is, but I love a pastiche. I'm not a direct parody writer, but something I love about the Weird Al B-sides too is that he'll take the style of certain things. So I've got a sort of B-52s style song and some more ballady stuff. But no, this was sort of a departure. It sounds as DIY as this. I always emphasize, because my kids' music stuff we have this amazing Grammy-winning producer. I'm very proud of it. So I love for my novelty stuff to sound like I made it on a laptop in my Los Angeles apartment, which I think this does.
Well, it sounds very cool. It's very catchy, and I can
you.
understand why the kids like it. It's a neat song.
I've yet to the adults. That's what I'm going after. I'm like, that's nice that the kids like it, but can I get some adult fans? So
well,
if any
the adults are the ones who have
mind...
money. I understand why you're doing this. You see,
you're reading me like a newspaper.
The kids are just going to want to like share their lollipops with you or something. And...
Yeah, what does that do? Come on. Come on.
And Lauren Mayer has joined us. Hi, Lauren.
Hi. It's fun to meet another comedy musician who alternates between kids and not kids, because I do too.
Oh, I forgot you did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do
That's
kids
awesome.
music too, and try to also. I got into it because with my kids, I couldn't stand the stuff that was available. So
Like frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like I had to write, especially if I do educational music more, and the stuff that was available, I'm going, ew. And my kids had friends with attitudes, so if I was going to volunteer in their classroom, I was going to have to bring in cool music or else get destroyed. So, I've never met you before, Trevor, but I'll have to check your stuff out, and I'll maybe send you a link to mine.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
To connect, yeah. But I love also alternating. So I do political stuff. So I'm either being, snarky and mean with the political stuff, or I'm being nice and friendly with the kids stuff. So it's nice to alternate, because too much time in the kids space, you can't swear, you can't, you want to be, even if you're doing hip music, you got to be a good role model, and you can't say what you really think, and so then you can go do something else snarky. So
now I want to hear you do a political kids song, just like add the snark to the kids and.
Yeah, the problem is, a big market, and I don't know if this will help you, Trevor, but a big market for kids' music is homeschoolers, because, they buy a lot of stuff. So I don't want to piss them off, because a lot of homeschoolers would not like my political stuff. So
It's the Flat Earth Polka. We didn't play that.
Humans were with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So, but yeah, I'll have to send you guys some. But yeah, well, is this your first time on the FuMP, Trevor?
It is.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hard to have more new people. So
Thank you very much.
Lauren's one of our regulars.
You have to meet these folks in person. They're very fun and it's a great community.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get to, hopefully I'll be at the point in my career where I can fly out to the next convention. That's my goal. That's my high point. I've just begun in the FuMP world, so.
Okay. Can
Thank
you get to that point by October? Because that's when we're doing it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'll save up.
Cool. So is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug?
I am. If anyone's in the Los Angeles area, I'm also part of maybe they'll be on the FuMP later. I'm part of a comedy duo here in LA that does music that's a little bit less like frogs. It's a little more risque. It's called Mr. Zimmer, and we are doing a tour in August, yet to be announced. But we're calling it the California World Tour, playing a lot of comedy shows. So if anyone wants to check that out, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, all those places, Trevor Walls. And I'll be posting about it soon.
Are you coming up to Northern California at all? Because that's where I am.
Oh, perhaps. I'll let you know. We have to connect.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm way too old and unhip for most of the comedy scene, but I do some regular podcasts with a guy named Brian Copeland who knows everybody, and I could probably hook you up with some people who book comedy shows up here. And actually,
that would be wonderful.
Now regular at the Comedy Store in LA. So.
Oh, brilliant. That's awesome. Because we're prematurely announcing the tour. We actually haven't booked many shows. We've got like 3. But if we're manifesting it. If we just announce a tour, eventually people will book us, I
3
imagine.
is a tour. 2 is a tour. A tour is 2 shows before you go back home. That's a tour.
I'm doing a tour with so far just one thing booked in November in Philadelphia, and we don't even have a date yet.
Oh, so, good. Yeah, our plan is to announce the tour once we begin it, and technically, if we play shows for the rest of our lives, that'll be the same tour.
Yeah.
That's how you make the tour.
It'll be an Elton John 10-year-long farewell tour.
Yeah, we're going to start with our farewell tour.
Now I can't wait to hear this song.
We already played it. You're going to have to go back and listen on the site.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Oh, man, sorry.
It's on the site. You can play it for free. It works wonderfully.
Lauren, how long does it take you to drive to LA?
It depends on what time of day. I mean, if we didn't stop and I didn't have a middle-aged bladder, I could probably do it in 6-ish hours. But realistically, got to allow 8 or 9. Cool.
Yeah, I live in Burbank, in the same building as TV's Kyle and Linzilla, so we have 3 FuMP acts in one building.
Oh my God, we need a FuMP reunion in LA. I'll come down at some point. So, yeah, I want to. Well,
I just discovered a really great potential performance venue because my roommate Santana started taking improv classes at a place called the LA Connection in Burbank.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah, and Devo, I don't know if you remember this from back in the 80s, or Lauren might remember it too. There was a syndicated TV show called Mad Movies with the LA Connection. And
Yes.
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like bad lip reading, slash MST3K, because they would just take old time movies and just completely eliminate the audio.
Oh,
and
yeah. They used to. They showed clips from that on Turkey television. That's where I learned about it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So the LA Connection is the group that started that, and the guy running it is this guy Kent Scove, and he's still there, like running this theater. And I went over there because I dropped off Santana, and I wanted, when she told me she was going to it, I went and looked at pictures of their performance space, and it's this really great performance space that, like, with the built-in seats hold 60 people, but they can add chairs and bring it up to 80 people, and it's like a good, like, actual seating going to an actual stage with lights, and they have a sound system. They actually already have a projector and a screen that drops down. So I'm like,
Okay, so Luke, you're going to produce a show. Let me know. I'll be down.
Well, keep an eye on your Facebook for things. So
I will.
I should plug that my partner, she was a cast member at LA Connection. So
cool.
maybe we've all got to work together to get this thing going. Let's do it.
Oh, the other thing I was going to mention is at the LA Connection website, they actually have a page up, and they have a YouTube page for Mad Movies. So some of the Mad Movies episodes are like in good quality up on YouTube, and I just discovered that the other day, and I'm like, oh wow, holy crap, I have to watch a bunch of these when I have the time.
Oh, I got to check that out. Is the Friday the 13th one up there? Because that was hysterical.
I didn't notice if that one was up there. One of the ones that I remember was they did a version of the Night of the Living Dead. The original, and like they would always like cut to like one of the zombies walking around like way off in the distance, and he would just hear a guy go, "Telegram." Another one was like a movie that took place in like medieval times, and there was some medieval band there, and like when some guy goes like, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Doobie Brothers," and they cut over to the band, and they're all just going, "Doobie doobie 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 doobie." Such dumb jokes. I just loved it so much.
The one I remember from Friday the 13th is they were in a mental institution, and there was some woman, guiding this big hulking man through the corridor, and he was just scared and confused. And she's like, "Okay, Jason, come this way. We have your room down the corner." And he's like, "Oh, where's my hockey mask?" That's all I remember. I remember just laughing my ass off at it. All right. So, Trevor, we're going to move on to news and interviewing Lauren. Are you going to stick around, or are you going to take off?
I'm going to take off. Thank you so much for having me. So nice to meet you, Lauren, Luke.
Yeah,
do you have a website?
Hopefully I'll be back soon.
On the email thread, so I'll reach out.
Do you have a website, Trevor?
I do. TrevorWalls.com.
All right.
That's the place.
Nice and easy.
All right.
All right, awesome. Thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to more from you.
Yeah.
This is the FuMP.
I'm the ruffinest, tuffinest, grumfinest, and when the dang long-eared galoot acts up, I've had enough of this. Bladder splatting, rise and pat, hat and all that, and my red mustache and beard are the scruffinest. I reckon y'all better keep back, cause I'm playing.
It's candid camera, let's scream and smile. You see it all on VHS. Aliens have landed, and they're a little hostile. You see it all on VHS.
Need all of my hostess cakes, them Twinkies, ding dong zebras. These ho-hos only like me for one reason, and that's because
I got snacks, Reese's Pieces.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. TheFUMP.com.
Feel like I'm gonna puke, cause the timeline is screwed. Do I fix all this now, or wait till season 2? There's a hell of a ride, but the purpose is glorious.
Multiverse. Fight.
Time for funny music news. Something, something, something.
I forgot to unmute myself. There. All right. In the news. There is a new Ninja Sex Party graphic novel up for pre-order now. This is their second one. It's called Becoming Ninja Sex Party. The story continues. You can now pre-order our second graphic novel, Becoming Ninja Sex Party. There are awesome bundles available with a 7-inch colored vinyl, a poster, mug, stickers, and more. You can pre-order now at fantunes.com. And one of the bundles comes with the 7-inch vinyl of the Logan Award-winning song, Danny Don't You Know? And Ben Visini has a new Kickstarter out for a new album called Ben SFW, How to Be Lewd Without Being Rude. This is for his third album. He was looking to raise $1,500. He is currently already funded at $1,751. He only has 2 or 3 days left, so if you'd like to get in on this, do so quickly. Ben SFW is a new album with 15 song sketches that all have something to do with sex. So check that out. And no FuMPFest news to report, but just a reminder, FuMPFest is happening this October at Con on the Cob in Ohio. Go to FuMPFest.com for details, and the FuMPFest 2021 compilation is now available for sale in the store at thefump.com and at FuMPFest.com. Luke, you got anything before tour dates?
No.
All right. Tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. On Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. On the 7th online, Carla Ulbrich. The 7th through the 9th in Indianapolis, Indiana, Mikey Mason. On the 8th in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. On the 14th in Boston, Massachusetts, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And the 7th through the 9th in Baltimore, Maryland, Bonnie Gordon at Shore Leave, the convention.
Yay!
All right, Lauren.
Hi.
Give us a quick intro to your song, and we'll give it a listen.
Okay, but before you do that, just real quick, adding to your tour date news, because I keep forgetting to get it in. I have a live stream on the 9th, and I also want to just chime in that Ben, who did the Ben SFW album, that's my son.
Oh, I didn't even make the connection.
Because we have different last names. And
that's why.
He lives in his world, I live in mine. But yeah, his songs are hilarious, and I don't get half the jokes, and some of it is really inappropriate for a mother to be listening to her son singing about, but it's hilarious. So.
All right, cool.
Intro to my song. Sometimes I just get really ticked off at the news and this whole anti-woke, going after transgender, accusing drag queens of being pedophiles, telling women that we should stay home and have babies. Just the whole, it gets me really, really mad. And the madder I get, the more cheerful the music ends up. So this song is really cheerful, so it's an indication of just how ticked off I am. I try with the FuMP to stay away from really overtly partisans, not so much, political stuff is still funny, but I try not to get too partisan because I want my music and the FuMP to be welcoming to everybody, no matter how idiotic their political views are. But at a certain point, you just got to weigh in. So how's that for an intro?
All right, here is Why Are You Freaking Out About Things That Are None of Your Damn Business by Lauren Mayer.
The latest right-wing culture wars are getting out of hand. As these attacks expand, there's one thing I don't understand. Why are you freaking out about things that are none of your damn business? Like what people wear or their medical care. Well, let me correct you, that doesn't affect you. And what's it to you what other folks do on their own behind closed doors? Let them live their own lives and just pay attention to yours. Now when you get the urge to weigh in 'cause of what you heard someone praying, I'm just saying stay away and leave everybody else alone. Schmucks, why are you passing laws about things that are none of your damn business? Like what books we can read or which school kids to feed. As this crap is growing, your bigotry's showing. As we've seen before, each new culture war is insane and idiotic. Because progress moves forward and fighting it is quixotic. Oh, that's a literary reference you probably don't understand because you never read the book or you had it banned. Boycotting products willy-nilly makes you look extremely silly, and banning teaching history, really? What the hell is wrong with you schmucks? People's sex lives and healthcare and pronouns and gender are none of your friggin' business. And though it might hurt you, no one wants to convert you with views so extreme. Who'd want you on their team? And straight white Christians are not the real victims, so cut this crap out now. Your interference we deplore. Your opinion no one's asking for. So don't give it anymore, 'cause it's all none of your damn business. Hey.
All right, I was ready for you that time with the video. I took your video and I replaced the audio in the video with the audio from the song. So I cut out your talking at the end. So there.
Oh, good. Oh, because I started doing that. Actually, Ben, my son, was the one, because he'll watch my videos sometimes, especially the ones that he'll do the drum programming for me on a lot of it. And I started doing a little thing at the end to plug my Patreon. And he never saw it because he would stop the video at the end of because I would put it on at the end. So he said, you got to catch people sooner. So now on my video, there's always the talking that happens before the music dies out to try to grab people before they turn it off. But then if anybody ever wants to pull it, so anyway, that's the, crass capitalism, but I got to make a living.
So what inspired this song, as if I couldn't guess?
Basically that. I generally do news-related songs every week. I mean, I do a so for people who are new to this or new to my stuff. I put out a song every Friday based on the news. It doesn't have to be political, but given the political climate these days and how much has been going on, it's kind of hard to not be following this and to write it about, I don't know, what else there is going on. I've done things about other topics like, climate change and various other things, but it's just so, politics is so hateful and so divisive right now. So, I'm doing something positive tomorrow, depending on when people, if they see this later, Friday who's tomorrow, the 7th? Yeah. I'm doing a song celebrating Bidenomics and about how we're no longer headed for a recession, a little bit of economic cheerfulness. Then we'll do things like that, but I just was sort of baiting at this. I think it was, I know what it was, because all of June I was trying to do stuff related to Pride Month. So trying to do stuff with LGBTQ plus advocacy. And so, I was reading a lot of those stories and I just got mad. So, So don't they say comedy is either tragedy or anger plus time? So
it can also be therapy.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you, it is really. I mean, that's the whole reason I started doing these songs. Was I love telling this story. I've been doing these one a week since August 2012. It's almost 13 years now. It's a sickness. But I started it because I thought during the Romney-Obama election of 2012, I thought political discourse had hit an all-time low. And I got really mad. And so I was yelling at the television, and my husband and son said, could you do something more productive with your anger? So I wrote a political song called It's a Scary Time to Be a Jewish Mother. And it got some likes. And I thought, this one website picked it up and put it on and said, do you have any more? And I said, oh, yeah, sure, I'll do one a week. And they said, okay. And so I was kind of committed to doing it, and I haven't stopped since. But yes, when I get really mad, it is very therapeutic.
You remember those days of that election? That seems like so long ago.
Horrified.
And
remember, he did this line about, I have binders full of women.
Binders full of women. I think we have a song about that on the FuMP.
It's mine.
Oh, is it yours?
Oh, won't you put me in your binder full of women?
Yeah.
I did one. I think it's on the FuMP.
No, I did a search for binder and nothing came up. So maybe not. I've heard a couple of songs about binders full of women. I bet you Steve Goody has one.
Well,
anyway,
it's funny. Whenever I do the Steve and Brad show, Steve and I do a song off. So I'll do one, and then he does one to try to relate to mine, and then I do one to try to relate to his. And sometimes we're stretching it a little bit, but I'll have to see if we can do our dueling binders songs. That would be fun. So, yeah.
Good stuff. So the other thing is, congratulations on having one of the longest song titles on the FuMP.
This one?
Yeah. It's not the longest song title on the FuMP. That from my unscientific exploration of the song titles here, that one goes to the Sunday after the Saturday immediately following the actual calendar date of St. Patrick's Day, drunken sing-along version by Mikey Mason. But yours is pretty close.
Well, mine basically is the whole song is in the title.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I was going to make it None of Your Damn Business, but I thought I got to put the whole thing in. So the song going out tomorrow is one word, Bidenomics. That's it. So
they average out. I see.
They average out, yeah. I guess. I'm probably, well, maybe. I haven't done a compilation album in a while. And sometimes I have to shorten titles just to... In the old days, I used to have to shorten titles to fit them on the CD. I don't even know if I'm going to do a CD this time. I may not.
Well, you can make like 10, because I know a guy who does short run CDs.
Yes, and who's done a few for me. Yes. But I mean, I did one for my Jewish. I did actually a full run of them for my Jewish Mother album. But yeah, I did my last compilation one after the pandemic was just digital. I didn't even. You did the design for me.
I did.
It was fun. I know a guy who does great design too.
Well, thank you.
You did the design for the Jewish Mother one too.
Yep.
Which came out great.
Thank you.
Yes. So, and I'm unfortunately not going to be able to make it to FuMPFest.
Aw.
Because I'm going to be getting ready to become a grandma.
Well, didn't you miss one previously because your son was getting married or something?
Yeah, I missed.
You know, this whole family of yours, it's got to stop. It's interfering with my events. You see.
I know. Well, but you already booked all the concerts, so I would.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, you haven't. Oh.
Yeah, I got a few left.
Oh, dang. Well, I really, because we're coming.
Basically, it's just like, God, I need to find more people to perform so I don't have to give a slot to Luke.
Yeah.
No, because we're coming back east in November, and because we're going to come babysit the baby because they've got a family wedding, and then I've got a gig in Philadelphia because I have a college roommate who's super involved with her synagogue, so I'm doing something there with the Jewish Mother stuff. So, but then the plan is to start touring more because, I want to get back out on stage, but we've got to earn a living. So.
Are you going to do any more work with Carla Ulbrich while you're out east?
Possibly. She's gotten really, really busy.
Of course,
yeah. We're hoping. We had a whole plan to, we were kind of going through our respective catalogs and deciding what was Broadville. We told you that, right? We named our duo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
you two work great together. I don't know what it is about the two of you, but there's really good chemistry between the two of you.
Well, because we've got similar perspectives but different. I've got more of the Broadway stuff, and she's got a little bit more of the folky country. So it works. We're just enough different.
Yeah.
But our voice, I think, because I have a little natural twang in my voice, and so our voices harmonize well. And to the point where when we put out, a couple of songs together, and I'd be mixing the audio, and I couldn't tell which vocal was which, and I would go, I think that's me. I think that's Carla. But yeah, she's really fun to work with. So, I'm hoping to, try to get off that hamster wheel and be able to travel a little bit more, and we'll see. The main thing I'm trying to perform right now is the Jewish Mother stuff, just because it's pretty timely.
Yeah.
Try to reframe that stereotype. So, yeah, I'm working on that, and what else am I doing? Starting to do, you're going to crack up. Through a friend, I've started to get booked doing talks with music at sort of New Age churches.
Okay.
Okay. I got you speechless. Devo was speechless for about 5 seconds. This is a record. Turns out the ones in California have a sense of humor.
Oh, that's good.
it's like Unity churches and spiritual life centers. It's, basically everything is just all love and kindness and let's be nice people. There's no, and people are really nice and they like funny and they're used to more like, it's like motivational speakers, talk about how to deal with things in life, but I throw in funny songs and we seem to like it. So I'll do it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's, when your entire income is depending on freelancing, you kind of take what there is.
True.
I have to this point never had a steady job, so
Well, that's good.
Gotta do. And I can't sell CDs as the bulk of my living anymore because nobody's buying CDs. So
yeah, I'm finding that too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we'll see what happens with my next album and like how many CDs I make up of it. It might be like 5.
When's your next one coming out?
I don't know. I'm hoping to have it out by FuMPFest. I don't know. We'll see.
The hardship is, at FuMPFest and places like that, I think people like to buy physical merch because you get to take home a souvenir.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I played a couple of things here where, people sold stuff, but a lot of my friends, even my age, don't even have CD players anymore.
Yep,
and
that's the issue.
I did sell a handful of digital albums of the Jewish Mother album, but even that, they can buy it on Spotify and not have to actually pay anything for it. So it's harder to get traction with that. And we can complain all we want about Spotify, but at least we can put music out. We just have to find other ways of monetizing it. So. As we get into serious stuff here, I don't want to go downer about what's wrong with kids today.
If you figure out any of this monetization thing, let me know because I haven't yet.
For all thumpers, and not that I make a ton, but Patreon has been a pretty good platform.
A bunch of us are on Patreon. I have one for Manic Mondays. Ian has one. Mikey Mason had one. I don't know if he's still doing it or not.
I have one, but I haven't done much with it, and I need to change that because
it takes a little work. And I've done 2 campaigns for it where I really did regular Facebook posts and regular social media stuff and gave away goodies, and it's time consuming, but it has worked. And now I have a little bit of. And there are people who are making thousands of dollars a month on it. I'm not in that one, but I'm making a few hundred a month, which that's money. I mean, that's not nothing. And what's nice about Patreon that because I write a weekly post to my patrons, it's not just the money, although the money is nice, but it's people who are giving you, even if it's just a couple bucks a month, saying, I like what you do.
Yeah.
And and especially for me doing these videos every week, there are times when I go, I don't have time this week, but I have people who it's like a subscription. They expect a video every Friday. And it makes that easier. And it's nice to know there are people who have said with both comments and their credit cards, I like what you do. It's worthwhile. And, that's like applause. That's a really nice, it's a nice thing.
So plug your Patreon. What's the URL?
Patreon.com/Lauren Mayer.
I didn't know if it'd be Lauren Mayer or Psycho Supermom, so.
No, I do it as Lauren Mayer because I'm probably going to have to retire Psycho Supermom. I don't know if I can be Psycho Supermom when my kids are out of the house and I'm a grandmother.
Psycho Super Grandmom.
Yeah, it doesn't sound the same. Did I ever post my Psycho Supermom song as a FuMP?
I don't know, but at this point it's probably too late because it's old.
Unless I do a Taylor Swift to myself and re-record all my old catalog.
Yeah. You could do that. Wow, you've posted a lot of songs.
I've been around a long time.
It doesn't look like you have. But that's okay.
It's a horror movie. It's like a 50s horror movie about what happens to a mom who's too perfect. And she becomes homicidal. So she really does become a psycho. So
sounds like a good movie, actually.
Yeah, it is. It would be a fun movie about basically the mom trying to be perfect, and then
Norma Bates.
There you go.
Yeah, basically. I made her name Judy in the song, but I should make her Norma. Yeah, I'll do that. So So.
All right. So, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Sure. I don't have a whole lot, but July 9th, which is this Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, figure out the in-between stuff. I have my free Facebook live stream. Go to facebook.com, Lauren Mayer Comedy Songs, or you plug my name and it'll come up. And I'll be doing my most recent songs and requests. And I have... I'll be at a couple of Unity churches in San Francisco in July, in case people are there. And then I'll be starting to do an East Coast tour in the fall. But if people want to avoid doing Spotify and they actually want to download the Jewish Mother album, it's at LaurenMayerShop.com, and my album of Jewish Mother songs is there. And I also have a talk based on that I'm starting to take to synagogues and Jewish women's organizations and whatever, which is finding new comedy about Jewish mothers that doesn't involve painting us as horrible, nagging, psycho shrews. So,
all right, cool.
That on. And I'll probably, next time I post a FuMP, I'll probably do another song from that album, because that's fairly new.
Okay, sure.
So that's what I have coming up, and check my Facebook page or go to YouTube. My YouTube channel is Psycho Supermom, and I post my songs every Friday.
All right, let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback.
Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, let's sing a song about
Lee, you're testing my ADD.
Eclectic Lee wrote, here's some feedback, just so I don't have to listen to that other clip. I promise not to do this every week. Thank you, Lee. And...
Draconis alert. Draconis alert. Draconis alert.
I apologize, Draconis. I was going to read this before Trevor left, and I completely forgot. So, Draconis wrote, welcome to the Crazy House, Trevor Walls. Who or what inspired you to get into comedy music? Where did you hear about the FuMP? Who is your favorite comedy music artist? Hi, Lauren. Enjoying your career? That's all he asked you.
Yes.
All right. Luke, what is your opinion of the fact that Marvel Comics killed Miss Marvel?
There are multiple comic books and multiple TV shows and multiple movies in multiple universes, so Ms. Marvel lives in various other places.
Devo, did you notice that in half of the Yosemite Sam clips, he has no beard, and the ones he did, it may have been a color error. Later, all and tile. I noticed that over the years that, they don't always draw Sam exactly the same way. And in fact, one of the clips I used, there's a noticeable color error, not on his face, but on his arm. Like they change as he's moving around, his arm keeps flopping between two different colors. And then Draconis followed that up with, come on, guys, I'm not the only fan on here. Comment already or I'll stick a rabid shoebox on your waffles and Pac-Man underoos. So, thank you, Draconis. And that's it for feedback for this week.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a joke. Yeah.
Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by John Ware. And Tuesday's song is by a new artist. So you're going to have to wait for that. And next week's Spotify playlist topic is I'm going to do cars because I'm going to pick up my new car this weekend.
Yay, cars.
So, all right. Lauren, plug yourself one more time.
Oh, I don't know, in front of everybody. I usually plug myself in private. YouTube.com/PsychoSupermom. On Facebook, it's Lauren Mayer Comedy Songs. My website is laurenmayer.com. And my shop is laurenmayershop.com. I make it nice and easy. And I have a song coming out Friday, July 7th called Bidenomics that will be on all of those places. and buy stuff from all of us, not just me. And my Patreon is patreon.com/Lauren Mayer.
All right, and Trevor Walls is at trevorwalls.com, and check out his stuff there. And let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski. And Lauren Mayer's there.
And I'm Lauren Mayer. I didn't know if I was supposed to...
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
"What do you get when you put it all together? Chicken!"